It is truly my favorite night of the year. It's a night when the rookies, the superstars, the divas, the legends all come together to honor the illustrious men and women, well, whose achievements transcend time and push us all to be that much better. But before we begin tonight's ceremony, let's have a round of applause for all our superstars and divas in attendance here tonight. How about it? Well, there are few superstars in WWE history whose careers can be summed up in a single word. But believe me, our first inductee made this word famous, and it has nothing to do with a structure built by a beaver.
A man of few words, Ron Simmons has always let his actions do the talking. From his humble beginnings at Florida State University in the late 70s, the prize recruit quickly put the fledgling football program on the map, terrorizing opposing offenses en route to 2 Orange Bowls and All-American honors.
6'1½", 285, and he is all man, I'll tell you that.
The All-American's uncanny athleticism and punishing strength made him a natural in the squared circle.
Boy, this Ron Simmons is power personified.
On August 2nd, 1992, Ron Simmons laid claim to WCW's ultimate prize.
He got him in a power slam! He got him in a power slam! He got it! Simmons got it! Simmons is a champion! He has realized his dream to become the best in the world!
As the first African-American world heavyweight champion, Simmons' monumental achievement paved the way for an entire generation of Black American superstars. During WWE's Attitude Era, Simmons would partner with JBL, forming the APA.
Oh, man! What's the number 911?
The bar-brawling mercenaries took on any dirty deed, if the price was right.
Money and fear.
Oh, well, hold on now. Sit down. Have your seat, guys. I think the kids are on, so keep talking.
In the bizarre and unpredictable world of WWE, the WWE Universe has always taken comfort in Simmons' grounded observations. It is with great honor and enthusiasm that we welcome Ron Simmons into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first inductee or inductor of the evening was Ron Simmons' partner in the APA. Now, these guys played cards and smoked cigars and drank beer. They drank a lot of beer. But instead of getting beer bellies, somehow these guys got beer biceps. That's right. Former WWE champion John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL.
Last night, we had a Hall of Fame reception, and a writer came up to me and said, I'm the one that's supposed to help you with your speech tomorrow. Since we are no longer in the Attitude Era, I cannot repeat to you what I said to that young man, but I can tell you this. The day that I need a writer to talk about the best friend I ever had on this planet, my former tag team partner, is the day you can put me in the ground. Because Ron Simmons' induction speech pretty much writes itself. Bobby Bowden, the coach of Florida State, where Ron was a 3-time All-American, said that Ron Simmons was the most impactful player he had ever coached. The man who coached hundreds of college players, including prime-time Deion Sanders. Barry Switzer, before the Orange Bowl, they asked him, they said, what do you have to do to beat Florida State? And he said one thing, we got to figure out how to block Ron Simmons. They never did. 3-time All-American, Orange Bowl Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, jersey retired at Florida State long before a boy named Sue at Nebraska became runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Ron Simmons became what most people recognize as the greatest nose tackle to ever play the game of college football and become a runner-up himself for the Heisman Trophy. And if you want to talk about big man on campus, I want you to think about the kid who came out of Warner Robins High School, who was All-State, who was Lineman of the Year, who was an All-American in high school when he drove around Tallahassee in his skin-tight jeans and his snakeskin boots in a brand new Trans Am with his picture painted on the hood. That's a true story. He wrecked it and got another Trans Am with his picture painted on the hood. When he went to the Cleveland Browns, Lyle Alzado bench pressed 225 43 times. People thought that was the most amazing thing they had ever seen. This year, at the NFL Combine, a young man bench pressed it 44 times. Ron Simmons bench pressed 225 47 times. When you talk about man, if Ron Simmons' picture isn't in your dictionary, you got the wrong dictionary. When he walked into the WWE and he had a blue helmet with him, Stone Cold Steve Austin looked at him and said, that is the only person that can walk in this building with a blue helmet and nobody is going to say anything whatsoever. But Ron's biggest legacy came not in sports and not just in wrestling, but in breaking down barriers. And Ron Simmons, in the old Jim Crow WCW days, didn't just break down a barrier, he shattered it. On August 2nd, 1992, Ron Simmons became the first African-American heavyweight champion. You see, if there hadn't been a Teddy Rhodes, there wouldn't have been a Lee Elder. If there hadn't have been a Lee Elder, there wouldn't have been a Tiger Woods. If there hadn't been a Satchel Paige, there wouldn't have been a Jackie Robinson. If there hadn't been a Jackie Robinson, there wouldn't have been a Hank Aaron. If there hadn't have been a Big Cat, there wouldn't have been a Ron Simmons. And if there wouldn't have been a Ron Simmons, there wouldn't have been The Rock. There wouldn't have been Booker T. There wouldn't have been Mark Henry. And all you wonderful, extremely talented athletes now have no barrier in front of you right now because a man of character and a man of integrity. Because when you break through barriers, you can't be equal. You have to be better than the person that stuck that barrier up to begin with. That was Ron Simmons. Years later in the APA, we were the first really successful tag team that mixed ethnicities and race. You see, there were the Dudleys, our good friends in ECW, who had very successful, but in WCW and WWE, it did not happen. Blacks were with blacks, cowboys were with cowboys, Briscoes were with Briscoes, and thank God there was only 2 Briscoes. And Ron and I became the APA. And since I am not allowed to curse tonight, I cannot tell you what I thought about the former head of creative. But that guy wanted to, well, I'll tell you one thing, the guy went to WCW and they went bankrupt, so it tells you what a genius he was. But he wanted to make something out of race. He wanted to make it a big deal that Ron and I, one was black and one was right, and Ron said no, absolutely not. This is not about race. This is about friendship. We're simply friends. Nothing more. And because of that, Ron stopped it. And we were friends. I can tell you in my whole life, there has never been a person that's been a bigger influence on me than Ron Simmons. I figured out one time we rode between 800 and 1,000 miles a week, week after week, month after month, year after year. We rode together in a Ford Lumina hundreds of thousands of miles. And if you ever want to do a reality show, forget the Diva reality show, forget WWE Legends, somehow find a Stephen Hawking time machine, get you a high-def camera, go back to that Ford Lumina, and get our two traveling companions, that peanut-headed George Jefferson wannabe Theodore Rufus Long, who rode with us those hundreds of thousands of miles, and Charles the Right Godfather. Now think about that car. Ron Simmons was a trailblazer. Godfather was just a blazer. We were going to rat-infested hotels, and I have no idea how so many rats got in hotels. For those of you that are down here, ask one of the old guys. They will explain that to you later. Ron Simmons and I wrestled one time during the Attitude Era, and I understand we had a loaded card. I understand it was a different era. But in a show that drew an 8.0, Ron Simmons and I, against each other, were the highest rated regular quarter hour of an 8.6. And I want to tell you something, and I'd like to tell all you young guys down here, when one of you children put up an 8.6 against the networks, I would appreciate if somebody would tweet me. That car that we rode in was four guys who just loved this business. We loved everything about this business. We loved it. And I can't tell you, I don't think any of the stories that happened in that car. But I can tell you the time that Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, threw some chicken bones at us in Nova Scotia, and we spent the next 30 minutes pushing him down the road going 95 plus miles an hour. Taka Michinoku was in the back seat. He never learned a word of English, but in that half hour, he found God. There was the time that Teddy Long got stopped for a felony of driving while black in Kentucky. And as this redneck Barney Fife cop comes sauntering up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I really wanted to look out the window and say, "Excuse me, they're holding me hostage." But I really figured this man might shoot all of us and take our beer. And I was not willing to pay that price. There was the time that Godfather was driving us to a show at the Rosemont and turned into a hotel lobby. There is nothing more I can tell you about that story. Oh, I wish this wasn't edited. I work with underprivileged kids in Bermuda. They love when I tell stories about travel, and they love when I tell stories about standing in Nelson Mandela's cell. But the one thing they love is when I tell stories about Ron Simmons, about a kid that grew up without any family support and became the first black heavyweight champion, about a kid that grew up without any family, without any money, and became a runner-up for the Heisman Trophy, who said, "You know what, the heck with you, life, I'm getting mine." Ron Simmons is influencing kids to this day, not because of who he was, but because of who he is. He did great things in his life, and he was much bigger than the APA, but I can tell you I wasn't. The greatest thing that ever happened to me in this life, in this career, was one thing, and that was Ron Simmons. When he was the best man at my wedding, he gave a best man speech that he got a standing ovation for, and he said at the end of it, he said, "You pledged to your wife that till death do you part." He said, "In our friendship, till death do we part." I can tell you right now, till death do we part. I've never done anything greater than this, and I doubt I ever will, but I want you to welcome the newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame, the first African-American heavyweight champion, my best friend, Ron Simmons.
honored. Well, I want to say, first of all, hey, thanks a lot, John, okay? You just put my team back on suspension. Nobody knew about those Trans Ams except you. You know, over the past few years, I've had the good fortune of being inducted into some very prestigious Hall of Fames. But as great as this honor is tonight, to me, it is the journey that I've had in order to get here that I treasure the most. I've had the good fortune of my career spanning several generations, starting with my teacher and trainer, the late great Hiro Matsuda. I've been honored to be in the ring with and learn from some of the great ones, like Dusty Rhodes, like Ric Flair, like Junkyard Dog, and even to some of the present day guys that sit here. I've had chapters in my life through this business field. Growing up, I'd often wondered what it would have been like for me to have grown up in the same household with my brothers. Well, that chapter was filled when I partnered with Bradshaw. I want you to know, buddy, you'll never know to me what it meant for me to laugh with you all those years, to talk about things that go on within our lives, to share only things that brothers were capable of sharing. I want you to know from my heart that you are and will always be a brother to me. There are so many people that have gone with me through this journey, but I have to point out the true Hall of Famer here tonight. And she sits right there. Wave your hand, honey. Stand up, please. Where do I start? I can only say to you, thank you for being there, to tend to the wounds, for helping to mend those broken bones, being there to console me all those nights that I came home when things weren't going my way, for putting me back on track whenever I wavered off. And there were many of times, okay? Well, to give you an example of only she was capable of doing it, I've done everything on the planet that a man can do to prove his masculinity and his strengths and everything, Heisman Trophy candidate, All-American football professional and everything. But I never known really fear and being scared until one morning I staggered into the front door of our home at about 5:30 in the morning and looked into that woman's eyes. I can tell you, I knew the meaning of fear, okay? But I would like to take this time to speak for my family, my wife and my family, and to thank the WWE for this wonderful opportunity that they have given me and my family. I can't recall one time that outside of the ring that there wasn't a problem within this organization that I could not come to anyone, whether it be in the ring or out, that their hearts and their ears wasn't open to whatever it was. From my heart and from my family, we thank them very much. Okay? Hey, like I said, in the party night, this whole thing has been so surreal to me, and I just really could not put it all into just one ball and sum this whole evening up, so I'll just...
Well, I think you'll agree it's going to be tough to follow JBL and Ron Simmons. But it's time now for our next inductee. And you know, for over 100 years, superstars have been wearing masks inside the wrestling rings. But only one of those superstars has worn 1,000 of them.
From Mexico City,
Native of Mexico City, Mexico.
Ladies and gentlemen, that international star.
The man of 1,000 masks.
None other than Mil Mascaras.
Growing up, seeing Mil Mascaras is, wow.
Nobody at all, man. Nothing like Mil Mascaras. A man with 1,000 masks and a man with 1,000 moves. He's got moves that are unbelievable.
The incredible Mil Mascaras, the man of 1,000 masks, and without a doubt, one of the premier athletes.
His physique, superhuman. His high-flying moves, innovative. Mil Mascaras, the international superstar and member of one of Mexico's most prominent wrestling families, elevated the popularity of Mexican luchadors to new heights all over the world.
I always had an incredible relationship with my uncle, Mil Mascaras. He's one of my idols, one of my mentors, and I can say that I'm here thanks to my grandpa, my father, and my uncle.
Without a doubt, one of the premier athletes today, Mil Mascaras. He is something else to behold.
He did everything. He's the first Mexican who ever wrestled in Madison Square Garden.
The winner of this bout, Mil Mascaras.
He's the first Mexican who ever wrestled in Japan or as a superstar in the United States.
You have endeared yourself to these great fans. They absolutely love you.
Look at that, what a hold. Gene, have you ever seen a hold like that before?
Oh, this Mil Mascaras is very, very impressive.
The high-flying moves of Mil Mascaras were even on display during his Royal Rumble debut in 1997.
Here comes the legendary Mil Mascaras. This is his first Royal Rumble. And wait a minute, Mascaras going upstairs. Mil Mascaras flying through the air. Whoa! Mil Mascaras getting quite a hand here from the thousands upon thousands of fans.
Continuing to dazzle fans all over the world, Mil Mascaras has paved the way for Mexican legends such as the late Eddie Guerrero, and also for current superstars such as Rey Mysterio and his nephew Alberto Del Rio.
To us, Mexican wrestlers, we would see him as Hulk Hogan.
He was my idol, and not only for me, but for every single wrestler in Mexico.
And I promise all you fans, I give it the best action. And I promise I go pick everybody in the ring.
And if you're in this business, you wanted to be like someone like my uncle.
Mil Mascaras, a Mexican luchador, a cultural icon, and now an inductee into the 2012 WWE Hall of Fame.
Now, normally, our next inductor would be introduced by his own personal ring announcer. But since that duty has fallen to me tonight, I'm sure he'll be paying me the same as he pays that guy. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, former WWE champion, Alberto Del Rio.
Wow, that was amazing. I miss you guys. In fact, let me hear it again. Alberto Del Rio, Miami is back. But tonight I'm not here to talk about myself. Tonight I'm here to talk about my uncle and to tell you a little bit about him. He's the one who put Mexican lucha libre or Mexican wrestling into the map. He basically did everything. From movies, TV commercials, everything. Even soap operas, the famous telenovelas from Mexico, everything. He was the first Mexican in Madison Square Garden, the first Mexican in WWE, and tonight, thanks to all of you, he's going to be the first Mexican in the WWE Hall of Fame. In fact, for all the great things he have done, other Mexicans, like my little friend, Rey Mysterio, and of course, the great one and only, handsome, beautiful, everything, Alberto Del Rio. We're enjoying this beautiful business right now. So with no more introduction, because this is his moment, I'll bring you my uncle, Mr. Personalidad, Mil Máscaras.
Thank you. In Spanish, gracias. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Well, what can I say after see this already, this TV, you know, and Alberto talking about his uncle, you know, and my brother too, you know. I have 47 years the wrestling, next July 48. I stay in shape because I pay the price. When I'm giving conference at universities or technology or schools, I told the kids or the students, you need to be the exit, pay the price for the exit. And need work more hard than everyone. Work more hard, and after you be in the exit, and when you have it already, the exit, work twice to stay in the exit. And I have the age I have it now, you know. I stay training, I stay work out hard, I'm running, and I eat good food. I take a little wine, little beer. Yes, it's true, it's true. And I have my life, 2 wives, 2 families, and one part of my family is here, one my wife is here, one American wife for Chicago. Yeah, she worked for the U.S. Embassy in Mexico when I met her. She's a beautiful woman. He speaks few languages. High education. High religion too. And he take care of me. He take care of me very well. He take care of my sleep, my food, my everything, you know, to be in shape. And my new wife is from Japan. Complete different. Yeah, yes, complete different. But it's beautiful wife, same with high education, with beautiful family. This is the more important. He take care of me. I love Japanese food. Yes. I like sushi, sashimi. And I speak very good Japanese, perfect. Sony, Toyota. Yes. I've been in Japan for 100 different times, you know. Last year, be 3 times in Japan, you know. and the people take care of me very well. First time I've been 1971 in Japan, and the popularity that I have it already is because in 1968 I've been in Los Angeles, California. I wrestling there, and all the magazines from Japan and the TV and Japanese and the magazine for the United States too coming already. I have 147 front pages for the American magazine, maybe more than 300 the Japanese, maybe 1,089 magazines for Mexican magazines, and I have 22 movies. The last two I make is the Aztec Mummy I make in the University of Columbia in Missouri, Columbia, and make 2 movies there for help the students to the communication class. Well, I don't like to say and go too long, you know. I wrestle for all the wrestlers in the United States, in Japan, in Europe, because I'm wrestling all over. I wrestle in Africa. My big support people, you know, is in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. 93,000 in the arena. Beautiful countries all over the and go, you know, because I have beautiful education. I say in my profession, I pay the price, but the price is beautiful because I travel and go regular go in first class. Yes, I go in first class. And I stay in the best hotels. I eat in the best restaurants because I like international cooking, French, German, Italian, everyone. And I visit the museums. I visit the places they need to learn a little bit. Before I go to one country, I open his history, politics, economic, social, cultural, everything. When I come first time in the United States, 1968, I have almost 2 years, 3 years, learning all the history of the United States, complete. And what can I say? It's too much. And well, the only I like to say thank you to all the fans all over the world for the wrestling. I love you. Thank you WWE for introducing me and the whole the fan. It's an honor for me to you be here. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter is the son of a plumber, and he fought for the common man. But whenever he was around the Four Horsemen, all he did was fight. WWE Hall of Famer, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
American Dream. He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. He's just a common man, working hard for a man. Hey, he's the
John Lennon brought the Beatles over as a faction. There were 4 of them. They laid down the foundation for the music that we hear today. Then in the movie industry, the Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. They flew around in limousines and jets and lived in Vegas. And through the years, our industry has seen different groups blaze up in a flame of glory and soon flicker out until the 4 Horsemen rode that lightning bolt into this business called professional wrestling. I got a little out of hand there with that, didn't I? A little bit. Got to back down here. They needed a leader, needed a champion. There were, I love first time things, man, things that you don't know it's gonna happen. So first time that one man has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame 2 times. We have cried with him, we have hugged him, we have retired with him, we have walked with him, we have watched him be ridiculed throughout the world, but we have lived with the fact that no one in this business can get down inside what we call that squared circle like the H-boy Ric Flair. Iconic to say the least. But what Ric Flair really is a national treasure. And he will be inducted tonight as this cornerstone and leader of the 4 Horsemen. You went to J.J. Dillon, manager deluxe. He put the blueprint out, you know what I mean? He got all the flights ready. He got all the reservations ready in Vegas and got the limos lined up. They flew around, you know, in this era of, I'm gonna get a contract, what's the first thing I'm gonna get on it? I'm gonna get me a bus. I'm gonna ask this company to get me a bus. I'm gonna drive my butt around on the big old bus. They not only had 1 plane, they had 2 planes. They were picked up in limousines. They housed themselves in places like Las Vegas and Chicago and Rush Street. And J.J. Dillon was the man behind all that. He structured that. Behind the scenes, in the ring, the only time I ever seen him really cry like a baby is with Hank and the animal run him into the War Games cage and broke his shoulder. And he cried like a baby, screamed like a panther in the middle of the night. He was their leader. And then they needed a Brad Pitt kind of look-alike. They say, we need somebody really handsome that ain't tied to anybody. The very best natural athlete I have ever seen walk in this business was Barry Windham. And when you hear the rumbles of, well, I should have done this, or why is he here, or why is he in this, it's simply because of that reason. He was a horseman, he is a horseman, and he is truly a gift to our industry. We can't forget that. How many more do I have? Okay. Tully Blanchard. Tully was I think the word is technician. In the ring, he had so much power. They would tie me to the wrecking ball and pound on my noggin each and every night. Tully Blanchard made no mistake about it when he believed he was the best. Really did, and probably is. Kept them together, the glue right there. That was Tully Blanchard going into this Hall of Fame. And now then, the unsung hero of this bunch, the heartbeat of the Horsemen, is AA Arn Anderson. "14 times I walked in the War Games with him, and 45 minutes later, he was still there. When they needed something dirty done, he would get it done. When they needed to go an hour in a match, he would get it done. When they needed somebody to go out and get beat up, he would get it done. If they needed somebody to protect them, he would get it done. In the ring, out of the ring, and now giving back to this group of young men and women sitting out here like nobody can. You've got to open your ears, kids, and listen to the history you are seeing on this stage tonight. I watched him get out of the car the other day at WWE Raw, and he was twitching with himself. And I'm saying, man, this dress code thing really got him down. And I was saying, who would think of something like that? A man like this, this dress code, got to have the dress code. You know where Arn Anderson's dress code is? His dress code is right here. It's in the respect he has for this industry. It's in the respect he has for each and every one of you guys. It's in the respect that he has for this thing we call pro wrestling. And all Arn Anderson is a pro wrestler. That's all he's gonna be, that's all he wants to be, and that's all five of these gentlemen are. But tonight they are something different. They are something special. It's a great honor to present to you, to this 2012 class of the WWE Hall of Fame, the 4 Horsemen.
Thank you. There was a day about 25 years ago when 4 exceptional athletes held all of the major championships. These guys, they carried the gold, had all the bragging rights, and somebody said that they should all go out for a TV interview together, and I went out with them because I was with Tully at the time. I really believe that the sun and all the planets and their moons and all the stars were in perfect alignment that day because something truly magical happened. And the 4 horsemen were born. None of us had any idea that it would become as big as it became or that it would last as long as it did. And we have these fans largely to thank for that. And I have to give a nod to the American Dream because he was the catalyst for our opposition across the ring virtually every night. And he forced us to be the absolute best we could be every single night. So I fast forward a quarter century to tonight, and here we stand reunited to accept the highest possible honor that we could receive, and that's induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. And I am so proud to wear this ring, so grateful that I had a chance to run with these guys from day one and to call them my friends. And I really am deeply humbled by this honor. And tonight is really special for me because my 3 daughters, please stand up, Pam and Missy and Nicole are here along with my son Jeffrey to share in this incredible evening. I thank you, I thank everyone, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. Nate, come on up here, tell them what's causing all this.
Oh, I want to. Don't worry about that. You know, I get emotional at this damn thing, so I got to tell a funny story. Since I saw you all in 2008, I'm remarried. Shocker, right? Okay. So, but I never got to tell anybody why I'm getting remarried. So I was working for the company doing PR, and they sent me to Raw one night. We were in Indianapolis, and I was with John Cena, who I love to death, and he knows that. And Mike Adamley, a former employee. Forget about Mike. Forget about Mike. It don't matter. It was about me and Cena. So, one time Bruiser Brody tried to tell me that football players are wilder than wrestlers. I said, Brody, you're out of your mind. You know, you couldn't talk to Frank. He thought he knew everything. So, I said, brother, you ain't been hanging around with me and my buddies. Because these guys weren't coming to St. Louis that much then on. And I was the world heavyweight champion. That's before we really got to going, but we were all hung out together. I said, football players are wilder than 4 horsemen. You don't know where you on, brother. And whatever you're on tonight, it ain't working for you. Come on and roll with us for a week. But I want to say this. No, please. I have had, and this is really hard to say, I have had the most wonderful career that any athlete of any sport could possibly have. God, I've been doing this 40 years, guys. But the 8 years or 9 years that this group ran together, good Lord, it was the best time of my life. And I can tell you this, the thing that made these guys special, and I'm putting myself in the same group, we could not wait to get to that arena.
We wanted to show everybody we were the best in the business every night. Just what it was. We loved performing. We loved seeing the fans happy. We loved seeing them mad. We just loved being the best at what we were doing. And I really feel like we were. Arn is the brother I never had. Tully, like Dusty said, a very close friend and a great guy and a fabulous technician, and worked his ass off every night of the week. And Barry Windham, just like Dusty said, one of the most incredible athletes that I've ever tagged with or worked against, ever. And I said it in 08, I'll say it now. He's the only man I've ever lived my life vicariously through. Hell, we'd get on a jet and Barry'd say to me, I'm driving to Louisville so I can pick up some chick in Atlanta. I said, you're driving to Louisville? He had a Porsche to go about 180 miles an hour back then. And I'll be damned if he wasn't at the building before us with the chick from Atlanta. Hell, that's Barry Windham. Who'd drive 500 miles? You could fly in a Learjet. Barry. Jesus. JJ, I'm going to tell you another funny story, guys, because I got to get some humor before I start crying again. J.J. Dillon, in real life, he watched over us. We were his kids. We were his kids. I mean, J.J. had fun, but he watched over us. So I'm going to tell you another funny story about my second wife. So the Horsemen came off the road one night, got off that jet, man, and there was a club called Bennigan's. And me and J.J. and his wife and my wife, Beth, Ashley, my daughter here, please stand up, Ashley, and read. You'll love this story, Ashley. These are my kids right here. God, I'm proud of you. Aren't they something? So anyway, I was drinking like hell, and Beth said, we got to go home. I said, I'm not going home. She said, we're going home. And I said, if you ask me to go home again, I'm going to kick your purse across the bar. I'm going to punt it. And she said to me, you're going to go home because I'm telling you, you've been gone for 5 weeks and I want you to go home. And I said, I'm not going home. I don't like going home. Hell, when the place closes, I'll go. That was my whole life. You know that. Pat knows it. So sure enough, woo. She said, I'm going to go home and get Ashley. Ashley was just maybe a year old. And I'm taking her, and you are the worst person of all time. I said, you ain't taking her anywhere. So I said, JJ, get in your car, brother. Drive me across town. Get to my house. Got to get there before the girls get there. So JJ pulls up in the driveway. I said, guard this place, man. I'm going to go in and get Ashley. I got there right in what am I thinking? She's just big, right? So I said, I'll just lay underneath the crib. Now, I forgot about JJ. So I got underneath the crib, right? I woke up in the morning. Ashley's gone. I said, what the hell happened? And I walked out the driveway. JJ was sleeping in his car like this. 8 hours later, that's JJ Dillon, taking care of the kid. I love you guys. God bless you. I love you all. I'm so proud of you. The show is great. I'm watching all the time. I love all of you. I respect you all. This is everything in the world. And I'm so thankful to all of you for letting me enjoy this weekend with you. Thank you so much. Ashley, one more time, baby. Come on, stand up. Come on, Reed, man. One more time. Stand up, Reed. Come on, buddy. Thank you for allowing me to be a Horseman, kids.
This is where it all started for me, right here in Miami. 28 years ago. I look out here in the crowd, I see a lot of friends, a lot of smiling faces. But I tell you, this honor means a lot to me. And to be inducted with this group of guys just is something that I would never have imagined ever before in my life. Thank you. I met Rick when I was 14 years old. And before I knew it, he had me dressed up in a tuxedo and a chauffeur's cap driving his limo around town. Make a long story short, I burnt the car up at a Taco Bell drive-in. Wasn't at my senior prom either. Tully I met about the same time. JJ, when I was going to West Texas State, JJ was out in Texas, and I began refereeing out there and was traveling with JJ. We wrestled in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we had to go to El Paso one night. And JJ's car broke down on the side of the highway in the desert. I was carrying the ring, and I passed him on the highway going about 110. And I remembered seeing what I thought was a ghost on the side of the road. Little did I know it was JJ. I got to El Paso, and he let me know that it was him on the side of the road that I'd passed. Arn, I've got great memories of Arn in the ring. I had some of my best matches ever with Arn and against Arn. We were the utility crew for Crockett Promotions. Whenever we had a show, Arn and I were sent out last, and we had to go 45 minutes to an hour so everybody else could get dressed and showered and leave the building. So you guys that are on last knows what that means. I'm so set back at this honor. I'll tell you, there is something that comes to mind. My father is a Hall of Famer, and I believe I'm the first son of a Hall of Famer to become a Hall of Fame. Blackjack's at home, he's doing fine. Thank you.
I have stood behind this group of guys every Saturday morning for 3 or 4 years. And I've listened and I've watched blood vessels pop. I've watched passion come out. I've watched spit, as we talked about, the symbol of excellence. As we talked about being the best that there was. And then yesterday, as Arn and I were doing some media things, talking about how we had an internal competition going on and see who could outdo the other ones. Because most of the time we weren't in 8-man tag team matches. Most of the time it was a couple of singles and a tag, and you tried to steal the show. As Jerry the King Lawler mentioned earlier, who can follow that? Well, I'll tell you this. There's not anybody on the planet that the Horsemen cannot follow. I passed Jim Ross in the lobby yesterday, and he said, you're down to quarterback weight again. At 58, I don't need to be 34-inch waist. I'm okay, but I can't grow any hair. I stole your line. You know, we can sit up here and talk about all the things and how the four of us interact, but my dad told me something when I was a very young man. He said, the wrestling business is the entertainment business. You're in the job of making people scream. And I took that to heart. My dad was the only tough guy in the family. The Big 8 champion in 1950. He defeated Ted DiBiase's dad for the championship. I had to throw that in, Teddy. I was in show business. And to be able to get on jet airplanes and limousines with these guys every night and twice on Sundays, and to walk into arenas to entertain you, that's what it was about. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this, it was so you could get, back in those days, $10 worth of entertainment. Because I've been out of the business for quite a while. I've been walking a different path. When you guys started chanting Dusty, I leaned over and told Arn I walked into a prison up by Ocala in 1996, and the inmates started chanting Dusty, 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 and they wouldn't let me speak. I'd been out of wrestling for almost 7 years at that time. I was on a different path. My 4 children are here with me tonight, and they did not know this part of my life. Taylor, Tanner, Tessa, and Tally, would you stand up for the audience? The 4 people that I love the most in the world, right there. I watched all 4 of them be born, and I didn't know what love was until that happened to me in 1991. Thank you for being here. I want to thank this man on the front row, Pat Patterson. And boy, you can see the wheels turning now, baby. We were in Milwaukee one night, and I was sneaking out of the dressing room area, and all of a sudden I see this guy, and he says, "Why don't you give me a call?" and hands me a card. You remember that, Pat? You don't remember? Oh. That's what opened the door for Arn and I to perform for the WWE and set up our first meeting with Vince McMahon. Which then opened the door for Arn and I to be World Tag Team Champions. And I can tell you it was a great thrill on Saturday night's main event back in those days when the referee actually went 1, 2, 3. Bobby the Brain Heenan, Arn, and myself held up those championship belts. To be able to wear this ring, I was told a few months ago about the honor. My children found out on television back in January, and my son wasn't overly impressed until he found out I got a ring. So it's a deal when you get a ring. This week is a special week for me. Many of you wrestling fans and many of the men that are in this profession know that on Monday, we had a memorial service for my father. I was a very fortunate man because I was best friends with my dad. A week ago Thursday at 7:23 in the morning, he took his last breath on this earth, and he stepped into eternity. He'd been suffering a long time, and it was good for him to go. But how you can have the deepest low on Monday and the highest high and an honor like this in the same 6 days will take me weeks to process.
Are you kidding me? That's for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please. I didn't make any notes or anything to organize myself tonight, and a couple of times during the week my wife asked me, she said, "Aren't you working on your speech and going to prepare something? I mean, what are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm just going to do what I've done for 30 years. I'm going to come out here and not talk at anybody. I'm just going to talk to all of you, if that's okay." You're going to hear a few things that are going to be repeated, but it's the passion that these gentlemen, Ron Simmons, everyone that you've seen before and will see after me, have for this industry. To give you some perspective on how I feel, and I've always felt, I guess I should probably tell you how it all started. I was, probably 7, 8 years old, watched my first wrestling from, I think it was Nick Goulas, Channel 3 out of Chattanooga. Yes, it was probably in black and white. Big show. And I was hooked. It was unbelievable. I got on the phone. I called my best friend, Bob Moss, and I said, "Bob, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. Come on, hurry. So I'll be right there." I think he thought the house was on fire. Something was going on. I went in, found my tightest underwear. Got my face mask toboggan out, took a shoestring out of my tennis shoe, down in the tights, perched myself up on the couch, put on the mask, and when he came in the door, I attacked him. Hooked. I was hooked. And my passion and my desire to be in this industry took off about that point. Dick Slater, Bob Orton Jr. were the two that were my idols. There was just something about those guys as I got a little older that just
I want to do what they do. Now, my granny and grandfather are two of the best people that I've ever known. They raised me. My grandfather worked 12 hours a day cutting hair, and if I remember correctly, he was charging $2.75 a haircut, and he would then come home and he would work his garden for a couple hours in the evening, and I think that's probably where I got my work ethic, and that's something I am proud of, work ethic. And I will remember my grandmother, and if there is a heaven, and God, I hope there is, she's there for sure. She said two profound things to me. She said, "Son, do you wrestle with your glasses on?" Come to think about it, I probably should have. I might have done a little better. And number two was, just out of nowhere, she said, "You know what? That Michael Hayes is the sexiest thing I have ever seen." Where are you, Michael? There you have it. I didn't say she wasn't nuts. But a gentleman named Tad Allen broke me in and got my first match on television in Atlanta, Georgia on TV, getting my brains thumped out by the Armstrongs, Bob and Brad. Yep, Road Dogg's part of that family, Scott's part of that family, fine people. And that name Armstrong will come into play a little bit more prominently as my career went on, but Bob said, "Hey, you know what, I got a job for you for about 2 weeks." Quit my job, went to Pensacola, worked for Bob. He said, "Well, you did well, I'm gonna send you out to Bill Watts." Okay, went out and did TV for Bill Watts. He said, "Go home, pack your stuff, come back, you got something." So after driving myself to death, but learning the industry from the ground up, I got my first break. Junkyard Dog looked at Bill Watts and he said, "Would you send that kid right there with Matt Bourne to Atlanta? Paul Ellering's going to be their manager. Give him a break. Give him a try." Now, how many people can say they've been managed by Paul Ellering, Bobby Heenan, and James J. Dillon? What an honor. That didn't work out so well. Bob Armstrong said, "Come home, come to Pensacola." Sitting in front of me are the things I'm most proud of in this entire world. First time I saw my wife, Erin, I looked at her and I said, "Honey, you're the prettiest thing I've ever seen." I still mean that today. My two boys, Brock and Barrett, you're the thing I'm the most proud of. Being your father is my single most accomplishment that will ever happen in the history of my life. Thank you for patching me up. Thanks for sending me out to these people. Thanks for allowing me to spend your birthdays and my birthday with them, possibly on their birthdays. That's how close we all are. It ended for me very suddenly, working for WCW, and when a doctor looks at you and says, "Oh, by the way, you broke your neck 3 times. If you don't stop right now, you're either going to be sitting for the rest of your life or you're going to lose that left hand." Being left-handed, things got pretty serious. So I made the right decision, I guess. Had the surgery, and that finished it, which put me on another career path. The one I'm on now, the one I share with some best people on earth. Dean Malenko, Ricky Steamboat, Fit Finley, Bill DeMott, Jamie Noble. They're called producers. Our job solely is to take some of these guys and scattered around this arena, some of these young guys, do everything in our power to make them better so that they can entertain you. Now I look at this front row, and I look at CM Punk. What a leader. 3 years ago, do you ever think CM Punk / team leader would be in the same sentence? I didn't. Very proud of who you've evolved into. Very proud. I look at the Big Show. Probably one of the most talented athletes in this company. You don't get to see some of what he can do because I won't let him. Sorry, Show, no drop kicks off the top out to the floor. We need you too bad. There is only one Rey Mysterio. Only one. Make no mistake. Randy Orton. I idolized your dad, Randy, and now I idolize you. You're just that good. There is no limit to how good that man can be. Now, when you take the names like Undertaker and Kane, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Edge, guys like that, and you put them out there and you just look at them, they take your breath because they are the golden circle of this industry. They certainly are. And when they're gone, see them every minute of every chance you can. There will never be another group like that, ever. Trust me. And there's one more guy that I've gotten a little bit fond of, and most people don't know that I'm very close to. And I get the whole let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Trust me, I've seen the whole evolution of it. It's working, John. You got him again. God, that would almost be like a... Fact is, that man right there is the best human being I know. I've seen him sit with sick children for hours. All of our sick children, they all belong to us. He makes their lives better, if only for a short time. He's never said no, not once. I've seen him take these young guys aside and spend hours trying to help them, put them on the bus with him and travel, try to teach them. That's what passing the knowledge is all about to the next generation. We are the caretakers of this industry right now, those of us in this room. If we don't take care of it and nurture it and pass it on, what are all of your children going to come to see? I don't want that to happen. I don't think any of you do either. So I will just close by saying I love all these people, and I've probably left some names out. I'm very sorry about that. There's another leader, Chris Jericho. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Bet your butt. Sure will. I'd like to thank John Laurinaitis. I'd like to thank Mark Carano. Mark threatened me. What am I going to do?
Well, I hope you're happy. I mean, you heard what they said. Nobody can follow the Horsemen.
Not even we can follow the Horsemen.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I thought you had some stroke around here, and you still got us in a bad position.
Zero.
All right. Well, we are here, strangely enough, not to talk about ourselves. Which obviously I'm not very happy about. But regardless, Mike Tyson, the undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion, At one time, the most ferocious, most intimidating man to ever step inside a boxing ring. 50 professional victories, 44 of those by knockout. Wow.
Remember, back in the day, a Tyson fight, if you weren't around then, it was like the must-see event of all time. If Tyson was fighting, you had to see it. I can't tell you how many times Sean and I rushed out of an arena to catch a Tyson fight. You know, one time the Tyson fight was on and we rushed. We didn't even shower. We got done in the ring. We ran, we grabbed our stuff, we jumped in the car. Sean was driving. He raced as fast as he could over to the local sports bar. We got to the valet booth. The little guy wouldn't even come out of the valet booth to park the car because he was in the booth watching the Tyson fight. I got out of the car. I stuck my head in the booth to watch the fight. Said, Sean, go park the car. Sean drove around. The little lights pulled into the thing. I saw Sean, his little bow legs running as fast as they could to try to get over to where the Tyson fight, and he was about 20 feet away when, pow! Mike Tyson knocked that guy out. The 10 count comes. Sean misses the whole fight.
Again, we didn't come here to talk about us, all right? And that's something I'm going to take up with Mike. I mean, he ended almost all of his fights early. I never made it. But let's face it, okay, we're not here, you know, to talk about that. We're here to talk about inducting Mike Tyson into the Hall of Fame. For the love of Pete, okay, we said we were going to come out here and make fun of Tyson. Remember, you were going to do the squeaky, high-pitched voice and all that, you know, and then, you know, you were going to make fun of it, you know, Holyfield's ear and stuff. God, why can't you just stick to the plan?
Well, I thought it was like a conversation. I didn't realize it was
Wasn't
a hard,
a conversation, it was in stone.
I mean, we were just talking. It was
oh,
like...
you're a liar.
Listen, honest to God, why would I come out here and make fun of Mike Tyson's voice? You know me, it would be stupid. Well, I'm going to stand here, then Mike's going to come out here, and then I'm going to stand in front of him. You don't do that. You don't make fun of Tyson. You know what happens? You stand in front of Tyson. Pow! He knocks you out just like he knocked you out. He knocked you out cold, laying on the ground. He knocked you out. I can't take it. It was...
This whole thing, it's just running its course with me. I'm telling you, this is you on me all the time. You know, it's running its course. I don't know that, you know, I know it doesn't look like I don't think it's funny, but I don't.
Neither do I.
All right?
What, they just...
Can we just move on? All right? Let's just introduce Mike, shall we?
Well, I mean, well, why don't you do it? You're better than me at everything anyway.
I knew it. That's what's bothering you, isn't it?
I've got feelings, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is D-Generation X's esteemed pleasure I hope to God nobody ever makes us have to work for a living. It is D-Generation. I'm falling apart. I don't know what to tell you anymore. Take 3.
How's the weather over in Babylon?
It is D-Generation X's pleasure to introduce to you
the baddest man on the planet, and now the baddest Hall of Famer on the planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Tyson.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, this is so exciting. This is, I don't know what to say. This is so overwhelming. I had no idea that, well, I knew I'd be a Hall of Famer, but never in wrestling. I never thought I'd be a Hall of Famer in wrestling. This is, no one, wow. I can remember the great fights I used to watch as a little boy watching Bruno Sammartino. I watched most of his title defenses. I watched him fight Nikolai Volkov. I watched him fight The Sheik. I watched him fight Spirios Arion. I watched him fight Moondog Mayne. I watched him fight Freddie Blassie, Lou Albano. You know, I just watched all of his title defenses and the great matches with the Valiant brothers. And man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yes, being a part of all this is just, wow. I always wanted to be a wrestler before they turned to the WWE, but I never had the opportunity. I guess I got arrested, then I got arrested, and then I met Mr. D'Amato, and I'm still here though, right? I'm still here. I still made it through here. I'm still here. Okay. But what I'm really trying to convey here, and this is what I'm trying to convey. The word is convey. I can't spell it yet, but I can pronounce it very clearly. The word is convey. Okay, but listen, all right? What I'm trying to convey, Mr. Patterson, it's beautiful seeing you, sir. Really nice seeing you, sir. Really it is. Gratitude is the word I'm trying to convey right now. I'm trying to convey gratitude. And like I said before, I owe a great deal of appreciation to the whole wrestling WWE family. And listen, man, if I didn't do that WrestleMania stuff, man, I would have lost my house. I was going to be the bomb, man. Oh, man. I was on dope and stuff, but if I didn't get, I'm just so happy I got that gig, and oh, damn. All right. But listen, 3.5 years drug-free, alcohol too, though. I'm coming back on you, though, now, huh? I came back on you, though, didn't I? Yeah, But I'm gonna finish this right now. Listen, I didn't know. Well, I'm gonna finish. My family's here, my children. I'm so happy my children. They didn't want to go to the Boxing Hall of Fame. They, they hurt my feelings a little, but that's okay. But they came here. You see, they came to this one. They wanted to come to this one. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, I didn't know John Cena was black. I didn't know. Did you ever see him throw his gang signs up? Oh, the ring guy. They told me my next one was gonna fit my finger. This one didn't fit. But you saw John Cena throw his gang signs up and all. You know that Booker. You didn't know. He threw the signs up. And I ain't know saying. I know Booker must have been ducking when he threw those signs, right? And all right. I'm gonna let you go. I just love my wife. You know why I love my wife? My wife is so ridiculous. I used to OD every day, and she always stuck by me and say, things are gonna be good. Things are gonna be good. Watch. We're gonna get a production company. We're gonna do our movies, and things are gonna be good. Boom. Prophesied it right there. I did movies and stuff, and here I am again. And another thing I wanted to say, and I love you with all my heart. I'm sorry. Lakia Tyson right there, I love you with all my heart. Thank you very much. And I love you too, Raina. Mwah. Okay. Listen, but you know, Dusty Rhodes is black too, but he's 70s black, ex-black post-station black, right? Come on, right? Good night, guys. I'm sorry.
What a night, huh? Our next inductee into the 2012 WWE Hall of Fame is one of the biggest superstars in WWE history, and I mean that literally.
In 1992, the shores of the WWE were invaded by a new threat from the land of the rising sun.
Take a look at this. Wow. Take a look at the girth. Take a look at 505 pounds of Yokozuna.
Within weeks of Yokozuna breaking into the business, anybody would tell you he's going to be a star.
Yokozuna struck big.
It's really hard to imagine just how huge this man is and what he can do with his awesome girth.
He was just so massive. And then just to watch him do these maneuvers that most big men did not do.
I have never seen an athlete in my entire life more fearsome than this man.
He's so quick, so agile.
No big guy ever moved like that, ever. Maybe not even now.
He was an unbelievable athlete that could do absolutely anything in that ring.
Utilizing his gargantuan size and incredible athleticism, Yokozuna squashed his way to the top of the WWE ranks.
This man is fearless. Bonsai!
At WrestleMania 9, Yokozuna shocked the world.
What a moment it is now. The championship on the line.
Won the title. We've got a new champion.
When I saw the guy at WrestleMania and I saw how the big guy could move around like that, he became one of my favorites.
History will recount Yokozuna's monstrous reign in the ring, but it was his magnetic and gentle personality that will live on in the hearts of everyone who was privileged to know him.
Yokozuna, to me, is the greatest big man ever. And on top of that, just a phenomenal guy and friend.
I wish Yokozuna was still around because I think that he was one of the best big men to ever get in the ring. And as big as he was and as fierce as he could be on TV, one of the absolute nicest guys.
Yoko will always be a legend. There will never be no other Yokozuna.
We are proud to welcome Yokozuna to the WWE Hall of Fame.
You know, it seems every generation provides the WWE with new superstars, and this generation is no exception. So right now, please welcome WWE superstars Jimmy and Jay, the Usos.
I'm on top, saying even my peak, and everything they said was out of my reach. It's so close now, did it all for the hometown. It's time all you be easy. Saying even my peak.
We are so proud and honored to sit here tonight and represent for our family. Now, we all know Samoans are no strangers to this business. Yeah. High Chief Peter Maivia, the Wild Samoans Alpha and Seeker, the Tonga Kid, Umaga, Rikishi, The Rock. But there was only one and the first ever in our family to become WWE champion, and that was our uncle Yokozuna. And I remember the first time we saw Uncle Yoko on TV, man, we was like maybe like 5 or 6. Remember that? I remember. It was like this. My mom yelled at us from the window, "Twins! Uncle's on TV!" So we ran in the house, ran down the hallway, got to the room, looked at the TV and was like, "He's Japanese." I thought we was Samoan. And so was Uncle, but he is Japanese. That is not Uncle on TV, Mom. Why is he throwing sand on everybody?
He is Japanese.
He looked too mean to be Uncle Rodney. He looks too mean.
But that's the thing about it. What you saw on television, he was the total opposite. To the world, the mighty Yokozuna. To the family, Uncle Rodney. A loving, caring family man who loved to joke around. I'm serious, y'all. If you got to meet him, which some of y'all have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He was a fun dude. But unfortunately, Uncle Rodney's no longer with us to enjoy this night of celebration. Yeah, I know. But we are honored and we are proud to introduce a man accepting on his behalf.
Yeah, accompanied by Yokozuna's family, a small bit of the family.
Real small.
Please welcome our father, Rikishi.
Yeah, I miss y'all too. I'm so just happy to share this night here together tonight with y'all. He love you too, man. It is my honor, humbled, to accept this award on behalf of my family, my Uso, and a son of Samoa, Rodney Angatupu Anuai, known to the world as Yokozuna. Yokozuna was born to wrestle. It was in his blood. It was his passion. You see, I can go on and talk about his accomplishments and his career highlights within this business. From his stats, to his champions, to even his moves, finishing moves. Not to mention, he hails from one of the most dedicated wrestling families in this business. The Anuai family, the Samoan dynasty. As you can see, it lives on today. It is unreal that one family has produced so many talents. True fact, for over 40 years, at least one, if not more than one, has been on a WWE roster. What is so memorable about Rodney? It was obviously his size. How the world witnessed such a big man who can move and his agility and grace. That was Rodney, always wanting to take his match to another level. But more than what he did in the squared circle, Rodney did so much for his family, for his friends, and his community. That was how big the heart of Rodney was. He was a humble man, always never saying no to anybody, and always remaining humble. Yokozuna is the highest honor that you can achieve in pro wrestling, sumo pro wrestling. And now Rodney Angatupu on Hawaii can add that to his long list of accolades. The WWE 2012 Hall of Famer. I would like to take this time to say a few words in my Samoan language. Samoa, o nei aso foi o le aso fiafia. Wa vea nei teimi wa walauria foi sisi o whanau o le atu nuu o Samoa. Vi ia le tō le aso fiafia nei aso. Ono Yesu. Amen. I would like to congratulate Rodney's mother, his late father, his brother, his sisters, and his children. Rodney, I'm sure when I say this, I can say this for the whole world, that we miss you and we love you, and may God bless. Good night.
I'm on top, sitting on my peak, and everything they said was out of my reach. So close, man.